This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On Air.
Kia ora, and welcome to Diversity Dispatch, your local queer radio show. We're your hosts, Ricky
and Percy, and we're here to bring you the latest in Dunedin queer news, community projects, events, and more.
Sit back, relax, and tune into our fortnightly show hosted on OAR FM.
Let's get started.
Hello. Oh, I almost didn't turn on the microphones. That was fun.
That was funny.
Yeah. But anyway, it's your host, Ricky, and your host, again, Miles, a.k.a.
Hi.
Cherry.
Hello.
Insert applause sound effect now. Oh, thank you. That was good. Kia ora. So today before we got in here, we were talking about, like, body aches and pains. So we're going to continue that conversation on here because we were like, you know what? This is gold. This is absolute gold.
You thought that, and I said we always talk about hypermobility.
Yeah, you called me out, and I appreciate that so much.
Someone needs to.
Period. That's actually true, though. That's actually very true. So I have some shoulder pain today, which is really annoying because I can have that pretty often, but I suppose that's just the connective tissue of it all. And then you were also saying that you've got some shoulder pain?
I've noticed probably like around 10 years of age and onwards, I've had like on and off aching in my shoulder blades.
Yeah.
And it's gotten really bad to the point where I'm like, Jesus Christ, someone knock me out. Like,
yeah. Maybe now's a good time to look into it further.
Maybe.
Because like if Anne's been like, well...
You shouldn't be able to do these things.
Well, like, you have some hypermobility, and you're like, okay, how's that worked out for you? And then Anne's like, awful.
Pain and suffering.
Pain and suffering, also, like...
And a party trick.
Exactly, exactly that.
Pain, suffering, and party tricks. We should rename the podcast to that.
Well, if we ever need another rebrand, that'll be at the top of the list. What was I going to say?
We can name the episode that at least.
Sure, we could do that. What were we saying? Pain and suffering.
Pain in my shoulders. And
yes.
Should I like talk to someone about potentially being hypermobile?
Oh, so first of all, yes. Second of all, because I find that because I've spoken about having like a pretty irregular nervous system for the longest time. I say irregular, but just like very, very tense and yeah. So I think that what I end up doing is because like I end up getting like burnt out, but then there's still like many demands that are asked of me, and sometimes additional demands will be put onto my plate each day, which would then increase the amount of tension that I'm experiencing in my body. Be like, oh no, now I need to go even faster. Or like, oh no, silly me, I forgot about this thing. But it's also like memory loss is also part of connective tissue disorders.
Oh, it is?
It is. Like,
I thought that was the depression.
I mean, a bit of both, you know. What is it called? Two birds, one stone? Yeah, so like brain fog. That's the thing that it was taking me a really long time to figure that part out. So I was just like, oh, it must be residual concussion symptoms.
Right.
Which I suppose if you have like a connective tissue disorder and then get concussed, and then obviously the recovery for that was really slow because, you know, my treatment didn't have connective tissue in mind.
Have you talked about this properly on the podcast?
I think I've talked about some of it, maybe not all of it in this detail. No, because like the whole me coming to terms with connective tissue stuff is relatively recent. Like It was also through like discussions with Anne, but also like
Anne, savior of all beings.
Exactly. She's the tissue of connection between us. She connects us all.
She's the connective tissue.
She is. And she's trying to, you know, help us get into order. She is the
matriarch of the drag community.
Yeah. She connects us all to gigs, to venues, to shows.
Is there a gender neutral? Because there's matriarchy and patriarchy. Is there a gender neutral one?
I don't know. That's actually a really good hierarchy.
But then it would like patriarch hierarch. Does that work? Hierarch?
Pettyarchy. Oh, that's That's a daughter for Anne.
Well, we've had this conversation in the group chat,
We have.
and everyone was just like different Arkies.
And it was, I suppose, like, it's difficult to make all of these different Arkies into actual names, just because, like, the first chunk is always something a bit left field. But there's...
Well, Mona is a name.
It is. So that's one of very few that was, like, a solid...
And that was my stone in the ring.
You go fight over at Chuck's. Yeah, so there is a topic that I thought that we'd discuss today.
Right.
And that is collectibles.
Yeah. Woo, yeah. Collect this.
Yeah, so collectibles that I've had a lot of experience with, like in the past. Trading cards. Also, egg flips.
What?
Egg flips.
I don't...
I know I've talked to Anne about this. I don't think it was on the podcast. It very well may have been.
Tell me what egg flips are.
So
Are they the little, like, poppy things where it's, like, got the circle and then the silicone and you, like, pop it and put it on the ground and then it just, like, pops?
No. I don't know what that is.
Okay, that's a different thing.
So
Someone knows what I'm talking
Do you
about.
remember... Actually, probably not. It's probably past your time. Moose, a toy company called Moose, and it had this, like...
I thought we were talking about chocolate mousse for a second.
No, this turquoise, like, moose head character. Cartoon. Oh, my... That would be a really cool inspiration for, like, a drag. Anyway. Yeah.
Finish one thought.
They... I wish I could. So this company used to make the strangest, wackiest, most colourful, most fun toys ever to make it.
Aren't toys crazy, though? Like, just in the basic, like a Barbie. It is a miniature human made out of plastic, and you play with the human.
I mean...
Is that not, like, when you think about it, a little crazy?
I mean, it's a little crazy, except I think it's only crazy because normally the stimulation that children would get through observing interaction between humans would happen in, like, communities. So, like, if people are living in, like, massive communes or something, so then they would constantly have people looking after them, like, conversations to observe, interactions.
It's like raised by a village rather than a small...
Exactly. So, like,
maybe two people.
So if it's, like, two people and they're like, well, I got to go to work and I need to go cry in my bedroom because I don't want my child to know that I'm depressed. So go play by yourself. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, how do I...
Relatable.
What do I do? Okay, I'm going to project my emotions and feelings and experiences onto this small bit of plastic that kind of looks like a person.
Yeah.
A very...
And bringing it back to the topic of collectibles, Barbies.
Yeah.
People love collecting Barbies, the outfits for Barbies, retro, modern, all the different things.
Also, retro's a really interesting word because the amount of times that, like, I will be on Trade Me or, like, Facebook Marketplace and, like, just any vintage item of clothing that they just haven't done any research into for, like, what era it is.
That's why I like to use retro because it's a broader term.
It is. They're just like, oh my God,
And
retro.
sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I say retro.
It's a really good, broad word to just...
For the basic.
To get a point
Ease.
across without being specific
Yes.
at all. Oh, so back to Moose.
Right, sorry.
Toy company. No, that's absolutely fine. So they had the most, like, colourful, crazy toys ever that you would just be, like, when you see it as a kid, you're like, what is that's crazy. I want that.
So what were they?
So that's just the company.
You know, but like, what's the craziest toy you can think of?
Egg flips.
I don't know what that is.
Well, not the craziest, but, like, they would just have, like... so they were the company that would do this, like... So it was like a plastic clear castle, and it was, like, full of water. I think maybe you'd add something to the water or something, but basically they had something that was kind of like kinetic sand, and then you would, like, pour it in through this, like genie wizard bottle thing, and then the sand would, like, you'd stack it up and make these, like, underwater sculptures, but then there'd be this air bubble around it because, like, the sand would repel water. So that basically just, like, you can make an underwater sculpture, but then also if you get bored because you're an ADHD child, you can pour out the water and do it again. Ooh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but that's
That
kind
actually sounds like kind of fun.
yeah, and they were like super colourful and stuff, and they had like multiple colours, and it was just very like, hey, do you want to make a castle underwater? Like that kind of ad, and it's just like wacky, be like, oh my gosh, like
Wacky inflatable tube man.
turquoise moose-head man is my favourite. I love toy.
wacky inflatable tube man.
I love toy. I went to a party once, and they had one of those.
The wacky inflatable tube man.
Yeah, they're really tall.
That's one thing I would collect.
Oh yeah, like yeah, you're like if you owned
Wacky
land or
inflatable
home.
tube man. And that for Christmas, I could dress them all up as different Christmas characters, and for Halloween, I can do different Halloween characters.
A Christmas chimney. No. Like, what's the like Christian like Christmas play, and you just do the whole playbook.
The whole what's it called? Something scene.
Yes. Exactly.
The whatever it is scene.
Wagon wheel 1 2 seed.
That's not what it's called.
Wagon wheel 1 2 seed hole. Do you know that reference?
Share.
Yeah. But like, do you know what it's from?
No.
It's from Burlesque, the
Right.
movie.
That's right. I was going to say that's a movie, right?
Oh yes, it is. It's also a type of performance.
I know that.
Don't worry, babe. Don't worry. Anyway, egg flips.
What are they?
Who are they? Where are they? So, packaging, cute, gorgeous, love that. And then there would be this little like.
What was the packaging like?
So,
Because you're saying all these words
I know,
and
so,
not
okay.
saying anything at all.
I was going to describe the packaging, but then it's like the amount of times that I've actually like visited the packaging without visiting the product. I was like, I was just going to get upset. But okay, so packaging. So, so the main color that they would use for like the box, or like, so it's you know when you'd buy toys, and then there'd be like the toy itself, and then there'd be clear plastic form fitted to the toy.
Yeah.
And then it'd be stuck to cardboard. So that cardboard, primarily, main colour, bright yellow. And then they would have a lot of like magenta lettering and stuff. And then obviously a few little pops of like turquoise and stuff. And it was just very like...
Good colour theory.
high contrast, very bright, borderline neon. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
The children would love it.
Oh, they did.
You
And
should
I
do
did.
like a drag outfit with those colours.
I should. I really should.
You could do like a lovely like 70s, you know, like the straight dresses. I don't know what they're actually called.
Like
but they're like about
Stepford
thigh
housewife type.
No, they're like thigh high. The tube, they have the singlet.
Oh, like twigs type.
Yes.
Like not FKA twigs, but like twiggy, and they do the like the very bold Austin Powers era.
Yeah. But do one of those with the like yellow with the purple like tie dye and then like splashes of turquoise.
That could be fun. Or maybe I'm turquoise, handsome Squidward.
You could probably do like a good handsome Squidward.
I probably
illusion.
could.
Like when Trixie Mattel did it with Brittany Broski on her YouTube channel.
It was
The funniest.
It was
stuff.
slightly cursed because after she did that, my brain kind of saw Barack Obama. And I know that that's definitely not... There was no intention of that happening.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I was just like... I think it was the chin. I think it was the chin.
Yeah, the defined chin.
Yes.
Anyway, so going back to the egg flip.
Yeah, so beautiful packaging. So, packaging aside, you're like, wow, that really caught my attention, gorgeous. And then you're like, what's in it? And it's like egg flip. And then it's this little... You hold that. You hold that face. I will answer that question. So, small egg-shaped plush toy that has like embroidered egg flip on it.
Okay, is it a soft plush?
Yes.
Or, okay.
So, they're either blue, pink, or yellow. Mm-hmm. You know,
Is that the yolk or the white?
the outer.
Oh, so they're in the shells.
Yes.
Right.
So it's literally just like a plush toy egg, but then when you open the package, there's a Velcro thing on the back of it.
Yeah.
And if you undo the Velcro, you can turn it inside out, and then it would reveal this little Chucky cartoon character thing. But then there was a twist because there was like different tiers of rarity. So they would have different fabrics or like printed patterns or whatever. So it was very much like Baba, you got a boo-boo nasty, not valuable, not cool to look at, not fun character. Congratulations. But it does smell like vanilla, so enjoy that.
I would love that.
I suppose there was a small element of gambling to it.
All collectibles are really gambling if you don't know exactly what you're buying.
Exactly. And if you don't know why you're buying it.
I feel like you know why you're buying things. If it's for a collection, it's for your collection.
Yes.
You don't know why you're collecting.
You're just like, I just need something. Yeah, so there were some that were like, there was this one that was advertised as like the one that everyone wanted, and they were correct. And I think maybe one person got it at my school, because it was mostly all the like girls were collecting it, but I was like, no, I want in on this. I want in on this. This is for me. Yeah, so there was some that like this little red Chucky that I had, and it was kind of like glitter fabric. It was almost kind of like a loofah, but like transparent. So it was like, like it was just I'm trying to explain it. It was just like kind of bristly, but it was like, because it was like clear bristle, it was soft. It just caught the light and was kind of glittery. Anyway, I think I have talked about this part on the podcast, but when I had those little toys, I made my own fun quite a lot as a kid. So if we had like, I got to a stage where it's just like, these Chookies need somewhere to live.
Yes.
So I made the entire floor plan of a house out of shoe boxes. I wallpapered it because my parents were renovating at the time. I wallpapered the outer of these, not one shoebox, but a few. And I like cut doors in them, stuck them together, and it was like full architect. And then my parents were like, wow, you could be an architect. So I'm like, yeah, if only my like neurodivergence was like picked up on. Maybe I could have been. Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. So there was egg flips. They went on for a while, didn't it? But then Yu-Gi-Oh cards, which was something I suppose that I would collect with the boys. But then also with like my brother and stuff. Honestly, no possession that I've owned has been stolen more than Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or just collectible cards in general. I don't know what it is, but everyone just seems to think that that's like, there's no law surrounding trading cards. You just steal them.
They are little bits of paper. They are valuable, but externally, they are little bits of paper or cardboard.
Exactly, yeah. So have you had experience collecting things?
So I mentioned it before we hopped on, but I saved it per your request. So I'm one of those people that gets like one or two things from a collectible range and then doesn't do anything with them. So I have like 2 Squishmallows in total. I have 1 Pop figurine. I'm just trying to think what else. I have like a little like vinyl figure. This was like years and years ago when Five Nights at Freddy's was really, really popular.
Yes.
And I got one of the little mystery things from EB Games, and I was so happy with that. I got the puppet. I've still got it.
I love that.
You like the puppet?
The puppet is like one of the unsung heroes.
Oh, I had a little Springtrap thing as well. I was really into FNAF.
So was I. I mean, I was more so into honestly, there isn't really like a franchise that has built suspense quite like that franchise. Just the way how I would love to see someone like Netflix or a streaming website release like a series, and they're like, for you to unlock.
Talking about the movie?
No, but like to unlock the final episode of this series, you have to investigate this like the same way. So they're like, you end up having to like,
it's an ARG to actually unlock the episodes.
Yeah,
because like I feel like Gravity Falls is kind of doing that a little bit at the moment.
Are
with
they?
The Bill Cipher book that they just released.
Tell me more.
Well, I'm not massive on the Gravity Falls side of things. Like I have an abstract interest in it. I've watched the whole series.
Yeah.
And I like love it. But I'm like not following it very closely. But like they released another book recently which goes along with the 3 journals. And it's like Bill Cipher's version of it.
Yeah.
And because they all have like blacklight stuff that you can look at in the actual books. It's really cool.
Yeah. So this is like a physical book.
Yeah. These are physical books that you can buy.
Yeah.
And these are based off the series.
Yes.
And they have it's a full book. You can put a blacklight on it and find hidden messages just like in the series where they do that. But you do something with the book and you find a website link and you go to the website link and then it's like Seuss is there. Or no, like you got to figure out the password to log in. And then it's Seuss there with some wires and a countdown. So like all over TikTok it was like, 1 hour left until the countdown. And I sort of stopped seeing it on my feed after that, so I don't know what happened.
Nothing. The countdown ended and they were just like, all right, now introduce Bill Cipher t-shirts. Woo!
Oh, was that literally it?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
I'm like, but if that's what happened, I would not be surprised, like, whatsoever.
I would be, because I can't remember the guy's name, Alex something or other, that did Gravity Falls. He's, like, really in-depth with everything.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah.
There's another game / I just did air quotes for anyone listening who can't see. It's called Welcome Home. And it's same energy as...
Is that a TikTok series?
It's...
Like a web series that's on TikTok?
Yes, except I have been getting mine from, like, YouTube, because there's, like... What's that guy's name?
Is it like a children's show and they've got, like, the woman...
It looks like a children's show,
yeah,
but the more you get into it, there's, like, some crazy lore. So it kind of...
I think I know what you're talking about.
The main character kind of looks like if Marge Simpson and Bob Ross... like fused. So
what?
Yeah. So like yellow cartoon character Muppet kind of design, and then like blue hair, but then is also like a really kind painter.
I was thinking about something else, but I know what you're talking about now, and I haven't watched that either.
It's like I haven't engaged in the actual web series game thing. It's like a click and like you go through it and like read things and click on content and stuff, but there's like really strange things that happen.
Oh, wow.
There's like, yeah, but like
That wasn't meant to be bitchy.
Oh, wow. But it was. No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so like who's the same guy who released all the fan theories? Just a fan theory for
Matt Pat from
Yes.
Game Theory and Film Theory.
Yes,
and
so-
Food Theory and Fashion Theory.
I thought you were going to keep going.
No, those are the 4.
Okay.
He's resigned now. He's just like
Yeah,
in the
so
background now.
that
Well, not resigned.
collective have been analysing Welcome Home.
Yeah, that's where I've seen it in the thumbnails.
Yes.
That's why I recognize the visual, because it's like, that's in the thumbnails for the thing.
Yeah, it's really good and really interesting. And usually, because I think the people who made that, they didn't expect to get as much attention as they have gotten.
Game Theory is really good about that, because they'll shine a spotlight on this small indie game that is incredibly amazing but wouldn't have gotten much attention otherwise.
Yeah, because like they pretty much would release like an update maybe like every 3 months or 6 months. But then obviously with the traction they received, they've...
Had to work harder.
Yeah. Why don't you just work hard? How about that? Just work harder. Whoa. Like...
Been doing this one vocal stim so much recently.
What is
and I'm
it?
pretty sure that
Yes,
one,
you have.
And I'm pretty sure I'm pissing everyone off with it.
The thing that I do appreciate about it when you do it is you typically only do it once or twice. And
then I leave it for a little bit. And then,
yeah, exactly. So I do appreciate that. So if it's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. But then, yeah, it's not like every few minutes, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I've been doing it so much recently, even at work.
And how does that? How is that received?
I don't really do it in front of customers because I have enough control over myself to not do that.
But it's when you're understimulated, when they're like, stand and wait for customers, but there's no one here, but also like, look busy.
Or like I'll duck behind into the kitchen just for a second and drink some water and be like...
Like you're pouring it down like that. People are like, I think the oven's broken. Like
our oven, the timer on it is a doorbell that rings through the whole cafe. And
I love that.
For the first month, this doorbell would go off out of nowhere, and I'm like, what is it?
I love that so much.
Because I was like watching the door when it happened, and it wasn't always when the door opened, but sometimes it was, and
That sounds mildly traumatic. But anyway, so that sort of brings us to the end of this episode.
is it the end?
I know, it goes so quick, right?
We need to do longer episodes.
Yes, we do. But probably not here because our time is limited but special, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, well, thank you so much for listening in, friends, and soon-to-be friends. Friends are just, no, enemies are just friends you haven't met yet. What?
What? Strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
Thank you. Bye.
And that's a wrap for today. Diversity Dispatch airs fortnightly on Thursdays at 5 p.m. So if you like today's episode, then be sure to join us in a couple of weeks for the next installment on ORFM.
And check out the podcast on oar.org.nz and your favourite podcast platforms. Tune in for more chill chats, fun facts, and upcoming local events on Diversity Dispatch.
This podcast was produced by ORFM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On Air.